The sky over the valley of Megiddo didn't just darken. It bruised, turning a deep, suffocating purple that felt heavy against the lungs. Matin crouched in the shadow of a jagged limestone ridge, his fingers white-knuckled around a tattered canteen. "Do you hear that?" Matin whispered, his voice rasping. Jeremy Bell, sitting a few feet away with his head between his knees, didn't look up. "I hear the wind, Matin, and the echoes of the world ending. Which one is it now?" "Neither," Matin said, his eyes fixed on the horizon where the atmosphere seemed to be tearing like old parchment. "It's hooves." For years they had watched the shadows of the Four Horsemen stretch across the earth. They had felt the shudder of the red horse in the thunder of global wars, the hollow ache of the black horse as famine turned bread into gold, and the cold shiver of the pale horse as the grave claimed its due. But Jeremy remained haunted by the white horse of Revelation 6:22. "The first one came with a bow and a crown, Matin," Jeremy said, finally looking up. "He came to conquer. He looked like victory, but he brought us to this. How do we know the next one is any different?" Matin pointed upward, because the first one was a bow without arrows, a pretender. "Look at the sky, Jeremy. The door is opening." The clouds didn't just part. They retreated. A blinding, crystalline light poured through the rift. Then they saw him. This was not the rider of the 6th chapter. This rider sat upon a horse of purest white, but the atmosphere around him vibrated with the weight of justice. His eyes weren't obscured. They were flames of fire, piercing through the grime of the valley. His name, Matin breathed, falling to his knees as the sound of a celestial army began to roar like many waters. "It's written on him, faithful and true." Jeremy shielded his eyes. He saw the many crowns, diadems of every nation resting upon the rider's head. There was no deceptive bow here. Instead, a sharp sword proceeded from his mouth, the living word of God ready to strike the nations. The rider was clothed in a robe dipped in blood, not the blood of his enemies yet to be defeated, but the testament of the sacrifice that had already won the war. The armies of heaven followed, a silent, shimmering tide of white linen and ivory steeds. There was no chaos, only the terrifying precision of holiness. Jeremy felt the weight of the years of hiding lift. He looked at the rider's thigh, where the name was inscribed in a script that seemed to burn into the fabric of reality. "King of Kings and Lord of Lords." "He's not just a conqueror," Jeremy whispered, his fear finally dissolving into a, "He's the judge. He's the end of the night," Matin replied. As the rider descended, the shadows of the previous horsemen vanished like mist. The victory wasn't a struggle. It was an arrival. Matin and Jeremy stood together on the ridge, no longer refugees of a broken world, but witnesses to the moment the rightful king reclaimed his footstool.